There's three big reasons why your muscles aren't growing. So if you're not doing all of these three things correctly, then you might not get the dream physique you're looking for. Number one on the list is going to be the diet. There's no hiding that the diet is important in order to gain muscles, but let's go ahead and deep dive into this a little bit and talk about why the diet is so important. So some people may say you're not eating enough calories. You need to eat more calories in order to gain muscle. But that's not 100% true. Yes, obviously, and if you're in a caloric deficit, it is probably feeling really hard to gain muscle because you're feeling more tired in the gym. You don't feel like you have the energy to do it. But your calories might not be the issue. So obviously you're going to want to track your calories and make sure that you are on path to hit the goals that you're looking for as far as weight goes, but make sure you're hitting your macros as well. Make sure you're getting enough protein, fats, and carbs in your diet. One thing that you might not be thinking about when you're tracking your calories is the actual foods that you're eating. You might be hitting your protein goals, hitting your fat goals, hitting your carb goals for the day, or maybe even going under on fats and carbs. And you're thinking, I'm eating enough protein, why am I not gaining muscle? Well, take a step back. Are you eating whole foods? Are you eating packaged, pre-ready foods that have really high sodium, more fat than you thought that they had, and they're probably not all that great for you? This is going to determine your body composition. So maybe you're holding on to a little bit more fat, and you could be getting better results if you were eating whole foods, fruits, vegetables, whole grain carbs, and lean meat. It could have a much bigger impact than you might realize. I know firsthand for me, this was a huge impact for me. I was hitting all of my goals every single day, my calorie goals, my macro goals, but I didn't understand that if I were to eat whole foods more often throughout my diet consistently, that this would truly change my body composition. Not only would I look more shredded, but I was gaining more muscle when I was eating whole foods. So maybe the prepackaged things that you're getting that have great macros aren't really that great for you. So maybe try out some whole foods for a little while and see the results. I know everybody is going to hate on me for this one, but just cut alcohol out completely. It is going to deteriorate your muscles. Not so much that you can't have a drink every once in a while, but if it is a consistent thing in your diet, you absolutely need to cut it out because it is killing your gains. So what's next on the list? We have sleep. Yes, sleep is that important that it is one of the big three. If you are not getting 7 to 9 hours of optimal sleep, then you are going to be cutting your gains. And you might be thinking, oh, well, I work too late, I have to wake up too early. Trust me, you can find a regimen that is going to work for you where you can get at least 7 hours of sleep, for most people at least. This is going to be huge. While you're sleeping, you are rebuilding your muscles. This is one of the most important things for your body composition as a whole. Do you want to look more muscular? Do you want to look more lean? Your body is going to thank you for getting high quality sleep. So let's investigate this a little bit. So maybe you're thinking, well, yeah, I get 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Have you ever actually tracked your sleep before? Are you getting into REM sleep? Are you getting into that deep sleep where your muscles are actually getting the rest that they need and being able to rebuild for that next day that you're going to the gym and absolutely crushing them? They're probably not. So 2 things that you can do to improve the quality of your sleep is have a nightly routine and a morning routine that you do every single day so that your body is on a routine and that it naturally feels like it can rest for a certain amount of hours. I know one thing that helped me was getting blackout curtains, making sure that all the blinds were closed every single day. Because my sleeping hours weren't, naturally going with the sun going down and the sun going up, I wasn't waking up and going to sleep on those perfect timing measures, but getting into a rhythm really does help your sleep and the quality of it. So I would highly recommend this in order to get those gains. So number 3, we're all thinking it's got to be one of the big 3, it's training. So why are your workouts not leading to the muscle gains that you're looking for? Let's talk about it. One of the main things that I hear is that I'm doing too much cardio and it's killing my gains. That's just not likely. I'm sorry. You're probably not doing too much cardio unless you're training for a marathon or you're doing 5Ks a couple times a week. You're not cutting your gains. Don't worry about doing too much cardio unless it's taking away from your actual weight training. Like we said before, your body needs rest in order to rebuild muscles. So yes, there are cases where you are doing too much cardio, but for most people, it's not likely. The next most common thing that I see is that you're training too hard or too long. Training too hard, I would definitely say that that is extremely unlikely. Training too long can definitely be a concern. You might be a gym bro that's in the gym for 2 to 3 hours, and that is just considered junk volume, as Sam Sulek would say. You don't need to be in the gym for 3 hours a day. You can get all of your workouts done in, say, about an hour, and you're going to absolutely crush a muscle group. What I think is more likely than training too hard is training too often. You don't need to go to the gym 7 times a week or even 6 times a week. I would definitely say that there is a sweet spot around 4, maybe even 5 days a week, especially depending on the split that you're doing. You have to give each muscle group ample amount of time in order to rest in between, to rebuild those muscles so that you can work out just as hard as you did the last week, tear those muscle fibers, rebuild them, get back in there and continue doing this so that you can get those gains. One thing that I find really important for your training is finding a program that is sustainable. You don't want to do something where you're exhausting yourself so much that you don't want to go back to the gym. For me, a push-pull leg split is perfect for me. Yes, it is a bro split, but I love the way that it feels. I get to train the exact exercises that I like to do, and that's something that's important for me and important for a lot of people. You don't necessarily need to do exercises that you hate in order to get gains. The important thing is that you find a program that you enjoy, a program that you can be consistent with, and that you can use progressive overload during this training program. So find workouts that you enjoy doing where you can use progressive overload, whether that's more reps or more weight. It doesn't matter. As long as you are getting stronger, it is more likely that you're going to gain muscle. One big issue that I was having in the gym is that I became a little complacent. I was doing the same sets for the same reps, the same weights over and over and over, and I found that I wasn't pushing myself to failure on any sets. And while I wouldn't say that you have to push to failure on every single set, it is definitely important to push yourself to failure so that you can reach that point on which you can progressively overload. I was too comfortable just being where I was at, and I never got to the point where I was increasing weight or reps, and that led to me not growing my physique in a way that I wanted. One of the best tips that I can give you while you're training is to make sure that the muscle you are training is the limiting factor for that exercise. So for example, if you're doing pull-ups and your grip strength is the limiting factor, you can only get 12 reps in because your fingers just can't handle doing that 13th rep, then your back is not the limiting factor. So now when I do pull-ups, I use wrist straps in order to make sure that my hands or my grip strength isn't the limiting factor during that exercise. And now it's my back, and I've seen crazy pull-up gains. So not only have I gotten stronger, but I've definitely gained back muscle just from using those straps. Also, while doing body weight exercises, I like to strap weights to myself, and that's another tool that I use is a weight belt that I now use as a form of progressive overload to either increase reps or increase weight that I'm actually doing when I'm doing dips and pull-ups, and I've seen some awesome gains just from using these 2 gym tools. Hopefully some of these tips are some things that can help you grow some muscle in the gym and get back on track. If you're looking to get more shredded and lose some weight, I have some other videos about that as well, so go ahead and check out my channel, subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you guys in the next one.